It's official.
Hey, 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 hey. Welcome to the inaugural episode of Ladies Talk on K84 Podcast. We are the Midwest, the Southern version of all things ladies and the things we need to talk about. We are here to support each other. We all know ladies have different views, experiences, life histories, traumas, wins, and it's okay to agree to disagree. We can build each other up and we can support each other and have different views. So we are super excited to bring it to you all. So let's get into it. Roll that intro. Ladies Talk on K84 Podcast.
It's official.
On K84 Podcast. All right, let's introduce our main ladies. We got Marissa down here. Hey, Marissa.
Hey.
Tracy. What up? Alex.
Hey.
Hey. We also got Amanda.
Hey.
Jasmine is not with us tonight, but we miss you. But in her place, we have a guest. Mariah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello. I'm Mariah. I am freshly 29. Just turned 29 a week ago. Thank you. I don't know what you want to know.
All right, where are you from?
I'm originally from Georgia, but I'm in Tulsa for about 15 years now.
Nice. Well, welcome to today's episode.
Thank you for having me.
So today the topic is the perceived high expectations that women have on men, and why men feel like we ask for so much. Okay, but before we get into that, we are going to start with a random icebreaker. So maybe you haven't heard of the show, but if you heard of the show, 1,000 Ways to Die, it shows absolutely random ways that you could croak, okay? And some of it is quite shocking. But let's talk about 1,000 ways to be turned off, checked off the list, ladies. Tell me your most either random, silliest, outrageous reason that guys turn you off. Okay, I'm gonna start. There was this guy, and he was like the package, you know what I'm saying? He would set his head on my shoulder when we'd hang out, and his head weighed about 20 pounds, or at least it felt that way, and I was like, I can't, my chiropractor bill gonna be too much. This not gonna work. It's not gonna work. So I stopped taking his calls. Good guy. No names. So who wants to go next?
Oh, me. Crazy deal breakers, huh?
All right.
Mine's shocking. I'll wait till the end.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'll go. Mine would probably have to be how a man eats. And when I say that, I mean don't be rude when you eat. Don't smack, don't talk with your mouth full, don't be messy when you're eating, because that means you have no home training. So that's definitely a knock you off the list. Yeah, no brainer.
Can they chew gum like that?
No.
You out.
Yes.
All right.
I'm gonna go with men who smoke or dip. The second I see it, I'm I just can't.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, I ain't judging nobody. You know what I'm saying? But
definitely not. But
I just think it makes you look unattractive.
Ready?
Yeah.
I don't like the way it tastes. I can't kiss them. It tastes weird.
And then how you just got that bulge right there?
Yeah.
Just walking around Walmart, you got a little bulge.
And you're like, oh, your cancer bill is going to be high.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
Alex.
Yeah, so I was thinking about it. So I think mine would be like lack of like good hygiene.
Amen.
And I mean like not after like working out or something, but I just mean like in general. And I was trying to think of one. I was like, okay, that's perfect. Like I don't know. Yeah, I can't.
Amen to that one.
Tracy.
Okay, so I'm aware that mine is gonna be petty, so I'm just gonna, preface with that. But I am almost 30, and so I think whenever I'm connecting with someone and I'm getting to know them, and they're like, yo, you got a Snapchat? I don't know. Something about that just immediately gives me the ick,
I met my man on Snapchat.
But see, like, not all of us is as amazing as Loda. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm like, most of the time when they ask me if you got a Snapchat, I'm like,
I think it is
for
kind of
what?
childish.
We're already talking on
yeah.
one platform. Why do you want to move it to another? That to me is just a little strange. But I know, like, it doesn't necessarily mean he's a bad guy or won't treat you well.
It's
so,
definitely giving sus.
Thank you. And I got to suss it out. What's going on?
We're all entitled to our own trust issues.
Period.
And I got him. Thank you.
My biggest, craziest deal breaker that I had to deal with was he just got out of prison for murdering someone. So that was a no-go. Like,
Wait, like, did he take like a plea deal, or was he like convicted?
oh no, he freaking murdered someone and tried to hide the body and then went to prison for 11 years, got out and was like, hey, I haven't talked to some girls in a while. You want to hook up? And I'm like,
Nah.
why? Like, where have you been for 11 years?
That's insane. He needs to ask for that attorney, though. Whoever that was got him a deal. How do you murder
11
somebody,
years?
hide the body, and then get 11 years?
It was self-defense.
okay.
But was it though?
I don't know. Who knows?
Hiding the body, though, don't scream
Questions we
self-defense, but let
don't
me
want
know.
answers to
That
on
was a
that
deal
one.
breaker. Yeah. Thank you. Next.
Well, women have such high standards. Jeez.
Right.
Jeez.
How dare I?
Yeah, that's what's wrong with us women. Let these men tell it. Nah. Getting back into the subject of today, right? Why do men feel like women have such high standards and expectations? Okay, so guys think like all women require a man that's over 6 foot, makes $250K, has a boat, a truck, a house and a condo, and an amazing mother, right? That's just like super unrealistic, but whatever. But on the flip side, there's also like petty gold diggers that are only looking for what they can get out of a man. I mean, we don't disagree that doesn't exist, right? So what is the minimum that you would accept in or from your man? Like if it ain't that 6 foot, $250K, fine man. Well, there's other things I could add in there, but you could use your imagination. But so what's the minimum? If that's unrealistic, that's not real, right? They think that's real. I know that you said you ain't never dated anyone under 6 foot, so you can check one of those boxes. Okay. So what's the minimum? If that's not real, like a true standard of a man for all women, what is the standard? Since the standard's too high.
For me, I've always said love should be about what's on the inside. Like, looks and money and all of that comes and goes, right? Like, we need to fall in love with someone for their soul, because that's what's going to last forever. And I lived that. Like, when my husband became paralyzed, I was still attracted to him because he had a good heart. Right. And he was always poor, and that was okay because we were happy we had each other. So I feel like that's what's most important. If somebody has a good character and a good soul, the rest of it doesn't matter. So my basic requirements is just being loyal, trustworthy, honest, kind, good listener. Like, that's what will last forever. Have someone that's your best friend. Mm-hmm. That's my requirements, my checklist.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
I agree.
Absolutely too high.
How dare we?
I 100%. I definitely agree. And just one of my big ones is like being a kind person in general. Like not just to me, but like how you treat other people. And I mean like waitresses, your family, your friends, right? Like that to me is very important.
So
100%.
how tall is your husband?
Maybe 5'8".
Oh, okay.
He's a lot taller than me for sure. But I'm
Taller
short.
than you, 5'8".
I'm really short.
You don't look that short to me, but
I have heels on.
Okay.
Listen, I was gonna say the same thing. Then I looked and I was like, oh, she got.
Yeah,
heels on.
I'm like 5'2". But yeah, he's a lot taller than me.
Okay, so a lot taller, but he's under 6 foot. Does he make $250K?
No.
Okay. Does he have a boat?
No, he wants a boat.
How you like his mama?
No, we get along great.
Oh, you got one of the Okay, so you got the 6 foot. You got the mom.
Yeah.
And what you got?
God, I have an angel. He is the best. He is the best thing that ever happened. Like, I look at him and I'm like, how are you real? Like, you are an alien, like an angel of love.
Oh, well,
like,
tell
he
us
is my
about him.
reward.
How is he an angel?
Because he knows what I need before I even have to say it. He meets my emotional needs. He listens to me. He comforts me. He grocery shops and bakes and does the laundry. He takes care of his own issues, like his own bills. He's not a drain on my energy. Like, he doesn't sit around and play video games all day. He is a real freaking man, and it is hot.
How'd you find him?
The internet, and we happen to go to the same church, and it was just like, when you know, like, that's really true.
I agree with that.
That's what I tell people about my
Sent
husband
straight
too.
from heaven.
They think that I'm crazy, and they're like, eh.
Why are you crazy?
Because I was, like I said, I'm a waitress. I was my husband's waitress when I met him.
Aww.
And I worked with his brother. And I pulled his brother to the side, and I was like, who is that? And he was like, oh, that's my brother. And I was like, and he was with a girl. He was. And I asked, who's the girl? And he was like, I don't know. I've never seen her before. So I'm like, okay, he's single. He's dating around. So tell him I want his number. And ever since I waited on him, I was just like, yep.
Aww.
I want that man, everything he comes with. And I took him with everything that he came with.
Mm-hmm.
And we
So
have
what's
been
the
married
standard?
for...
What's the standard? What'd you take?
What didn't make the checklist?
Yeah. Is he 6 foot? Is he tall, dark, and handsome?
My husband's very handsome.
Okay. Check 1.
He is 6'4".
Check 2.
He's very built.
Okay.
He is very headstrong, but he is also very focused.
Mm-hmm.
He's a hardworking man. He's a God-fearing man, which
check,
has
check.
definitely helped me out a lot. Like his faith has helped me in my faith as well. And he loves his kids. He takes care of his kids.
Awesome.
So, and it's definitely helped me love his kids more than like I have birthed them myself.
Yeah.
Love that.
So it's
Aw,
definitely
blended family.
oh yeah, we have a very big blended family.
That's cool.
I love you.
So basically, all right, none of us here have the guy with every box checked with the 6 foot, 250K boat, house, condo, mama we all love, right? I mean, you kind of come close-ish.
He ain't got no boat and he ain't got 250K.
So, but there's this perception, right, that men want too much. It's just like absolutely ridiculous.
You mean women want too much?
Oh no, oh that's true.
Are we saying men or women?
Hold
We with you, girl. We following
That was
you.
my subconscious. Let's get it. Hey,
Oh man.
you know, poor man.
Can
man.
I just say that I feel like that list that you named off came from an insecure man, because I feel like a man that's actually 6 foot and has 250K and a boat, he knows what he brings to the table, and he's not looking for a woman that's looking for what he can bring to the table.
Yeah.
You know what
He
I'm
already
saying?
knows what he brings
Like,
to the table.
yeah, exactly. Like, it's not, a man's not out here with a good 250K and a boat and
Yeah.
6 foot and he's just walking around like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, like
what do you want
jaded.
from a man? I can check off your entire list.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, okay.
I feel
Like-
like you were talking before about like the good guy always finishes last. Like, the good guy is what we want. Like,
Exactly.
I don't know. At least the women that
Okay,
I
then
know
let's get into it.
are good women.
Why do
Yes.
the good men finish last? If a good man is what a woman wants.
I don't know who these women are that just chase after this image and want this perfect gym rat who maybe has a huge ego and actually
I
treats
thought
you
you were
like
gonna
crap.
say something else.
Like,
They be on social media
I'm
too
like,
much.
great.
yeah,
Sorry.
it goes
That's
back
what
to
it
that
is.
internet thing and how it screwed up
Yes.
relationships, because people have this image, they want to look perfect and they want to have the perfect husband to make them feel better about themselves, and it's like none of that really matters.
And then you really not
Social
happy
media.
at home.
yes.
Oh my gosh, I can tell you this. So, and I shouldn't laugh, but the women who post all this lovey-dovey stuff on social media, and it's all the time, every day, constantly, they end up being the ones with all the marriage issues.
Yeah,
And
it's so
I know a
Yeah.
man who flat out told me,
Overcompensation.
yeah, a guy actually told me, oh yeah, my wife throws a fit if I don't post about her. She makes me post about her.
That's
Yeah.
a red flag.
And I'm like,
Right.
Very.
I think y'all got
It's right.
problems.
Yeah.
I'm just guessing, but I'm like,
Right.
But
what
there
is the
could be
deal?
people that are really just happy and just
Yeah, and
Well,
that's
and I'm
true.
not.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not
Right.
saying they're not. That
Yeah.
some people that post aren't.
Yeah.
I post
But I
things
agree.
myself,
I-
but
people are
every day,
overcompensating.
multiple times a day,
Hiding.
and it's always this. It's almost like love bombing just on social media
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
kind of situation, and it's like, dude.
Okay, so Alex, why do nice guys finish last? I mean, maybe the nice guys are the ones that are like, women have ridiculous expectations. You can't please them. They're ridiculous. Are we ridiculous, you guys?
Some of us
You
are.
ladies.
I'm just being honest.
I mean, I think, yeah, absolutely. Some of us can be.
So what's the
Sure.
problem? I mean, we're talking to the nice guys right now. Let's give them some advice.
Well,
There's no hope.
when I was young, I was told that my list of standards was way too high,
Let's hear your list.
but I never lowered them.
There
well,
you go.
let's.
Right.
And I
We
we
don't
got
talk
it.
about
That's a
lowering
And you
true
got what
queen
you
right
wanted,
there.
But
and I
what's-
got what I
what's
wanted.
your
There
list?
you go.
Well, the not superficial side of my list was I wanted a man who loved Jesus. I wanted a man who treated his parents right. And, that's a major red flag, in my opinion, if he doesn't treat his mom right, especially.
yeah.
If their family gets along, that sort of thing. What else did I want? A man of character that's going to be honest and somebody that can say, I screwed up, I'm sorry.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Just being able to admit, yeah, I screwed up, I'm so sorry,
That
I didn't mean to
accountability.
hurt you,
Yeah, it's
whatever.
accountability for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, all the other things.
No, let's hear the super.
Yeah, we want to hear the superficial.
Ooh.
Well, okay.
We know the 6 foot or 6 something.
Yeah, I wanted a man that was 6 foot or taller, and I definitely accomplished that. But you know what's funny? That standard was there because I played basketball back in the day, and my dream was to be in the WNBA. But when I stopped growing in 8th grade, that kind of
Well, and your
You can
list,
still be a point
your
guard.
list evolves.
Yeah,
think.
it
Like,
does. As you
evolves
mature,
you,
for
you
sure.
know,
Yeah.
like when you're 15, you're like, oh, I want, like XYZ.
Yeah.
It's totally
I-
not the same as
yeah,
when
All
you're
right, so
older.
just tell us what he looks like.
6'5",
6'5",
dark hair.
dark hair.
You had to be able to sing for me to date you.
Ooh.
Your
I-
husband can see.
Oh, he's sung in front of the president. He's amazing.
Wow.
Which
Which
is
one?
better.
Yeah.
She said,
Obama.
which one?
Okay, now.
How cool.
So,
Okay, so this side of the room, okay, their standards
Y'all need
were
to
a
write
little
a
high.
book,
Okay.
well, I went on a date with a guy in college, and he was the sweetest guy, godly Christian man, loved his mama, checked all those boxes. He was an athlete. He was over 6 foot. We got in the truck to go on a date, and he starts singing to the radio, and he's not even matching pitch.
Oh no.
You said, let me out the
Show
strip
him out.
right
And I
now.
was like,
Pull over.
I just can't do it.
She's
like
a very musical person.
I
She teaches pitch. You out. That's a petty one.
That is
it is a petty one. That's pretty petty.
petty.
But in my defense, I wanted to marry someone I could lead worship with.
Yeah,
That
you want to
makes
share your
sense.
dream together.
yeah.
That's
So
not
there's
too much to
Ain't
ask.
nothing wrong with that.
That's awesome.
It's not.
That poor soul just
Yeah.
and good
I feel
guy.
like that's a
Good
fair,
guy.
like, realistic
Yeah.
standard.
Thank
I mean,
you.
there's
Yeah.
realistic and,
It
like,
is.
Exactly.
unrealistic
Yeah.
standards.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
That hit home for me because it's like if you have a dream or you have a goal, if you're not on the same path as me, how is this gonna work?
Right.
You're only
Right.
gonna have
Exactly.
heartbreak. And a lot of times there are reasons, maybe superficial or monetary or those other reasons besides the nice guy that we're like, I'm gonna make this work. I'm gonna make this work, and we end up with heartache upon heartache,
Yep.
and sometimes years
And that's
after
because
year.
women settle.
Yeah.
and men
That's
settle
it.
too.
That is
like-
true. They do. But I feel like women settle a lot more than men. Because if a woman comes to you and you're like, this isn't working out, and they're like, why not? And you're like, well, you just don't meet my standards. They're like, your standards are too high.
Yeah, they're not
Yeah.
willing to actually
Like,
change or
you
try.
can't you can't find a man that has all of this and be okay. But
Right.
prime example number one.
See.
Yep.
You don't
Thank you,
adjust
thank you,
those
thank you.
standards, and you're gonna
That's
find
right.
that standard that you want, and you're gonna be happy.
Right.
Yeah, and for me, actually, I went through a lot of abusive relationships, and so I learned what I don't want, and I will never compromise on that. Like,
So let's
there you
talk
go.
about
It's
that.
not
Let's
okay.
talk about that. We talked about, this side of the room. Hey, look, I ain't gonna throw you all in the other side of the room, but truthfully, I'm over here in this camp. Okay.
I just want to say I never
So-
had a standards list, and
Worked out for you, huh?
Although I will
That's
say
awesome.
I'm happy with where I landed now, but
Good,
I
good.
spent plenty years over there.
Yeah.
So
Toxicville.
let's talk about
Burn it.
toxicity. Okay, so we got these men who act like or perceived. I won't say they act like, they for some reason believe
that they're God's gift to
that
women.
all women have too high of standards. So how low have we gone?
How low
Oh
can you go?
Lord.
Basically, get
It
down,
is under
get
the
down.
blood. We are
No.
not talking about the past.
So
No.
I think about an entire group of men and how they treat women, how they brag about treating women, how it's okay, even if they're supposedly in a happy, faithful marriage, it's okay for their homeboys that they hang out with to act like complete pigs, right? So it's kind of funny that men believe women have such high standards, because I don't really know too many females that do that, with the exception of those that we already mentioned that are gold digging. But a lot of times you already know they about that, because they like, give me that
Thank
paper.
you.
You want to kick it? Let me
Right.
tell you how
Right.
much. I need that bag. And so it's like,
pay for my
you
Uber
already
for
know
my
what
my
she's
Uber
about.
back
Exactly.
home.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess guys could say the same thing. They're like, I told her I wasn't looking for nothing serious. I guess that could be the same type of thing.
Yeah, that's true.
But
But you staying at my house every night for the next 2 weeks, but you don't want nothing serious.
But like at the same time, you gotta pay attention to the actions and not the words. And I don't say that from a
Okay.
place of being like, a pretentious, know-it-all. I'm saying that because it's a reminder to myself, because men will kind of, sell you candy and tell you everything that they think you
Yep.
want to hear. But if
Yep.
their actions are not aligning with it, then, like, for me, I had to have the uncomfortable conversation about checking my ego, because sometimes I can convince myself, well, I'm that girl. They're never going to do me that way. And sometimes you could be all that in a bag of chips, but he just is not emotionally, intelligent yet or emotionally available. It could be anything that has nothing to do with you, right?
Yeah,
And so I think that it's incredibly important to be able to, check your ego a little bit. It's probably going to hurt, but be able to say, because to me, I think who you allow in your life is a reflection of how you view yourself, right? And so that's why I'm like, they'll stay at your house and kick it every day, forehead kiss you, before the crack of dawn and everything,
I see
and then
you when
tell
you
you
get
they
home
don't
from
want
work,
anything
baby.
serious. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think also like it's important to set expectations early. Like when a
Yep.
man or
Yes.
anybody, man or woman, tells you, I don't want anything serious, you need to go ahead and give it to God. Or, take it seriously and then just, move forward with that. You don't have to cut them off if you don't want to.
Yeah,
but just
especially if you
don't
are looking
convince
for
yourself
something
you're gonna-
serious.
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. And
Don't
like,
set yourself up for failure.
Amanda, she said, it seems like maybe I misunderstood. So correct me if I'm wrong. Like she had her standards and she stuck to them, regardless if she felt like they were superficial or not.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So, if you want something committed or a serious relationship, well, then, only allow men in your circle who want the same things as you.
Right.
Yeah.
I think what you allow continues, right?
Yep.
And if
Yeah.
I want a man that's like has integrity and is honest and loyal and all these things, like I need to exude those things as well.
That's
Yeah.
Because I think like she said, like, you're around certain people and you attract certain types of people. I mean, we see it in friendships and all these things. So I don't see why men or partners are any different,
Right.
Yeah.
so anybody willing to share some of the things they put up with?
Oh my gosh.
Let's go.
Oh, I've dated men with porn addiction. I've dated guys who pushed me up against the wall and screamed at me and drank all day, quit their job, made me pay all the bills. Like, it is not okay.
Yeah.
I've dated guys who cheated on me, lied to me, hurt my children. Just bull crap. Like, those are the standards that are not allowable. And I don't care how committed you are, how important your vows are, abuse is not okay.
It's not.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amen.
You don't have to press through that and continue in that for any reason.
So, Alex,
Exactly.
for those who are in abusive relationships, what advice do you have for them?
I mean, I don't know. I think safety is obviously most important in those types of situations, right? Like, make sure you're safe. You're confiding in someone that you trust and is safe, But definitely, yeah, the first signs of it to me, like, is like she said, it's a non-negotiable.
Yeah,
You
and they
know.
don't get better, and it's not your job to fix them.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything else beside. I mean, and if you are in those situations, obviously there's a lot of support. I mean, not just around here. I mean, all across the country and things like that. But I mean, definitely like safety. I mean, to me, it's like that's a huge to me, it's a huge red flag. Like verbal abuse, any type of abuse.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a non-negotiable.
And I think it's kind of funny that there's this perception that women have such high standards when there are so many women who are in abusive relationships getting less than the bare minimum.
Yeah.
It's
And we've been
quite sad.
We've been hurt so many times. This is something my husband said before I came here. He's like, please tell everyone this. The amount of standards that a woman has is equal to the amount of hurt she's endured. Every hurt and disappointment a man has done to her, that's one more boundary she won't let cross again. That's one more, the bar gets elevated higher and higher and higher. So if you're pissed off that women have high standards, stop freaking hurting us.
Period.
And then we'll learn to
Preach.
trust
Thank
again.
you.
Preach.
Thank you.
That's real and that's raw.
And that came from a man.
Yes, my angel of a man who doesn't ever hurt me. They do exist.
Angels
Right.
are
They
the
do.
Yeah.
Yes. Especially when you find an angel after you
After you've been through
done
hell,
dance with the devil. Okay.
don't take it for granted.
So never. But I agree. Just like you said, like who we choose to be with is like a reflection of us. My sister said that to me once. Like basically, she could tell how much I love myself by who I'm with.
Yeah,
So she was actually being quite judgy at the time, but
that's true.
because
If we don't love
there
ourselves,
there is this so for my family and even my friends, they're like, it's always been this like, oh, you should be with a doctor or a lawyer, like this, because I've worked really hard to become educated and get a good paying job and build myself up from being a teen mom struggling with 2, sometimes 3 jobs, going to school, like taking care of myself, like struggle busting it, right? So it's easy for them to be like, you don't love yourself because I didn't go for the 6 foot, 250K. I'll buy my own boat. Thank you very much.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But I also could feel what you say because I personally was in a toxic, abusive relationship for off and on for almost 3 decades. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And I wish him the best. I have no ill will towards him. I want him to get his life right. He struggled with substances. I was codependent. We were dysfunctional. I mean,
we all play a part, I think,
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we
whether
do.
that's like whether we recognize that or not, right? Because
Exactly.
sometimes our self-esteem is low, and what we allow, like I said, it continues. Not to say that abuse is ever acceptable, but I'm saying a lot of times. I mean, I think there's a lot of internal factors.
and
that-
it
that-
goes
Yeah,
there
back
are,
to
for
childhood trauma and
Yeah.
things that
What
you
you
can't
feel you
control.
deserve.
Yeah.
Or things that you're used to.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely,
you
what you've
know,
seen,
like,
all of it. Yeah, there's so many other factors that I think.
generational curses, like I mean, straight up. So once though you have come out of those things, you do set a higher standard. Like I'm like, you got to be joking now. Like yeah, right. And so
because you
one
finally love yourself, and you're never gonna let anyone take that away from you ever
exactly.
again.
Yeah.
But
fought to
ironically,
get it.
he don't gotta be all the things that are
No.
superficial.
No.
You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying? At all.
Just treat
Right.
us like humans. Like that's
Thank
pretty
you.
simple.
an angel. An
Thank
angel.
you.
I feel like I landed with the angel.
Well,
too.
and
Yes.
I think when women are happy, or just a relationship, not necessarily women, but when a relationship is happy, the monetary side doesn't matter as much.
Yes.
Now it can cause stress, yeah,
Intention,
but
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you're genuinely happy and in a good, healthy relationship,
Yeah.
I think it's
You always see the light at the end of the tunnel.
those other things don't matter as much
true.
because you're like, we can get through this. We're in it together.
Okay, well, let's
For
talk
sure.
about money. All right. So, from the first date, do we put ridiculous financial expectations on men?
I don't.
I mean, I think we
personally.
used to. I think that maybe not us. I think as a society, it seems like we used to, but that's not. There's women now making more money than their husbands. I mean,
Right.
they're single moms. I mean, killing it and not needing a man. I
That's
mean,
right.
you know what I mean? Like, so I think that's just changed. I mean, to me, that's changed. That whole dynamic has shifted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
think
the
there are
men, like you go out to eat and the man has to pay for everything. Like me and my husband, we split everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like
It's all our money.
Yeah,
Equally.
Right. At the end of the day,
right,
yeah.
Right. I think like on a first date for me, and now, you know, I have no qualms about being like whacked down to my place. So, you know, y'all check me if you need to. But I think like when it comes to a first date, in my opinion, sometimes I do think that shows his level